What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop. So park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the subscribe button. Also, if you check the description below, you will see a Patreon account. If you click it, you can become a member. All you got to do is click it and try, and you can recommend movies and music and trailers for me to review. Now, with that being said, we are here with another review. These are some classic films, and today I am going to call it the disturbing double feature. Double feature. Yes, we are here again with a review of some 2008, 2009 movies. Now, these movies were considered disturbing. They're considered crude and lewd and everything rude. So let's go ahead and talk about it. I am talking about the 2008 film Martyrs and then the 2009 film Antichrist. Now, let's go ahead and start off with Antichrist, which has William Dafoe in it. Now, this movie is about a couple who recently lost their child in a very tragic way. The husband is a therapist, and basically he's trying to, I guess, nurse his wife back into a solid mind state after she is in huge grieving and depression because of what happened to their child. So he basically wants her to face her fears and takes her to like an excluded area in the forest and tries to help her figure out her problems. Right. So during this trip, she starts to descend into madness and all hell basically lets loose. Um, how do I feel about this movie? Now, the positives about the movie. It's well acted. The two actors in the movie do an amazing job at what they're doing. William Dafoe does an amazing job. The main actress lady, I don't know her name at the top of my head. She does a pretty good job as well. It's a lot of dialogue. It's not that many people involved. It's really just a 1-2 combination. Think of like The Lighthouse in a way, right? So we have these two characters. They're interacting with each other. They're talking. They have great dialogue. And the setting for this film is honestly dope, right? The lonely cabin, it's all rinky dink and just falling apart and the acorns falling. Like this movie does a really good job at setting a dark tone, right? Or an ominous tone or setting the mood, right? But then we also have some of the imagery in this film. There are certain scenes in this movie where the imagery alone is freaking horrifying, right? The movie itself to me is not scary. It is not horrifying at all, but some of the imagery is horrifying. The deer scene, the fox scene, hell, even the what else? Oh, the one where she's driving in the car, looking out the window, and you see the things passing by, right? Like you know what I'm talking about. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, those things set the mood for a very dark and gloomy movie, right? Now, truthfully, I didn't like this movie, right? Because I found it very slow, very boring, and I honestly felt like it was just for shock value. I get it. The movie is like it kind of glances at religion, it glances at mental health and things like that, and grieving and dealing with death. But I did not find it interesting. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just did not find it interesting. It's not something I really didn't get into it. The only thing, like I said, the only crazy part about the film is shock value. And low key, at times, this film feels like a porno. Like this wife deals with grief through sexuality. And it really honestly feels like a freaking like a low budget porn at times. And I really didn't, like I said, like it just doesn't, the movie feels like it has a message, but at the same time, it's clouded by what's being delivered to you on the screen, right? If that makes any sense. It feels like it has something there. It feels like it has potential to discuss, to like, okay, if you've seen A Cure for Wellness, that movie touches on mental health issues in an amazing way, and it's a very great movie. This movie, on the other hand, touches on it, but it's clouded by imagery and clouded by uh like freaking like shock value techniques that honestly take away from the substance of the movie. Most of the shocking shit that you see in this movie, it's like I don't understand why it's being done. You get what I'm saying? Like it serves no purpose. What the wife does to herself, what she does to the husband, it just serves no purpose at all to the story, right? even like the over sexualized scenes, it really just feels like it doesn't serve any purpose to this story at all. And it makes the movie fall flat, to be honest with you, right? So then we have later on in the film, you have the imagery of the ending. The ending of the movie, low key, has a very, very transcending kind of vibe to it. It feels as if it's culminating to something. And it once you get there and it doesn't do it, you feel so robbed, like it robbed you for all your time and all your troubles and everything. It really feels like purposeless. When you're watching this movie, you know that it has a message, and I can clearly see the message, but it feels so purposeless. It's like Mother. When you watch Mother, not the Korean one, because the Korean one was amazing. The other one with Jennifer Lawrence and Anton, whatever his name is. When you watch that one, like it really feels like you have to watch. You know, you see the message in the movie, but the movie was just so poorly done, or the imagery was just so poorly done that you just don't care about the message anymore because it took it away already. Like it took all the substance away. Every little feeling that you had that you felt like you cared about is gone now. Done, right? So, truth be told, if I had to give, if I would I recommend this movie to somebody, I really wouldn't. Unless you're into shock value films and something where it's like you have to see it just because it's like disturbing, or you know what I mean. There's some movies that you feel like you just need to watch because it has so much clout to it. This was a movie with a lot of clout. It did not live up to its expectations. So because of this, we grade things in two ways on my channel. You either get bodied or you get spared. This movie is getting bodied.
Get what you fucking deserve! I just caught me a mean body!
Yes, you heard it right. This movie is getting bodied. I don't understand why this movie is on this hype list, but it is. And because of that, I watched it and I just didn't feel what everybody else was feeling. It's not this amazing film. It has a couple of shocking scenes, but overall, the message didn't feel like it was getting conveyed enough. It felt like it was being muffled in this boring ass story. Now, moving on to Martyrs. Martyrs is I'm talking about the French version too. So the French version of Martyrs, which is the original, which is from 2008, is actually a really good film. At least the first half of it. So Martyrs essentially is about this young girl who has been abused, right? And the whole movie is essentially her gaining revenge on the people that did it to her, because she was basically kidnapped and tortured as a young kid by somebody, and she didn't, somebody. And the movie is essentially tracking these people down, gaining her revenge, and also she is being tormented by a demon who hurts her constantly. So the whole movie is basically about uncovering and discovering what it is that this person has went through and finding these people that hurt her, right? I don't want to give away too much because spoilers, you know what I mean? So what did I think about Martyrs? Martyrs, the French version, is honestly a really decent film. The way that it opens up, like it goes straight into it. Like the first 15 minutes, you're in because something crazy happens. You're just like, I'm fucking sold. I'm in, right? And the main character, the main girl, the one that sees the visions at first, her character is just, man, menacing, dude. The way that she handles business, like, man, I was sold, man. So, and also the design behind the demon or the creature or whatever it is that torments her. I know what it is, but I'm not going to say it because I don't want to give away spoilers. But anyway, that thing that tortures her or torments her mentally or whatever the case may be, that creature is very menacing. It looks very creepy at that. I have to give my hats off to whoever designed or the practical effects or whatever they added to that character. That character looks very menacing. My gripe with this movie, though, is that after the halfway mark, the movie starts to go south. It goes from a drama with potential and a story, and then it enters this land that I call hostile zone, right? If you've seen the movie Hostile, then that's what I'm referring to. the movie feels very hostilish, and I understand the purpose of this segment or the second half, and I completely get it. But at the same time, it took away from what the story was building. The movie was building this really magnificent story, and it was stacking it up, and it was just making it all nice. And all of a sudden, here comes the middle of the movie, like, get that shit out of here. And it knocks it all down and destroys everything. And now you have to start all the way from ground one, because essentially it starts to feel like you're watching another movie all over again, right? So when you're watching, like I said, the second half of the movie, I completely understand. And I think the idea itself is amazing. But at the same time, once you're experiencing it, you're just sitting here like, okay, I was given, you can't switch the gears of this movie so suddenly. You go from a good story, good plot, just cruising along, and all of a sudden you just slam on the brakes and you drop your speed limit down to like 15. And now you're just watching it and you're just like, okay, so I'm basically going to watch this part. Like literally it's like 20 to 30 minutes of just watching like some hostile shit. You're just like, okay, what happened to the story? Story was good. The story was interesting. Could we bring that back? Is there any way to bring that back, like at all? So this whole time I'm expecting like an actual storyline to pop up, and it doesn't happen, you know. And like I said, the second half of the movie is a hard watch, not because it's disturbing. Some might find it disturbing. I found it really like, yeah, whatever. But the second half was slow for me to watch because it just didn't amount to shit. And then when you get to the end of the movie, oh my God, the end of the movie was so fucking stupid. It was just as stupid as freaking Antichrist. Like, man, dude, just looking at these freaking, they don't know how to end these movies right at all. I don't understand. Look, how are you going to start? You are building a foundation of something, and your sole purpose is to discover something. And then once you discover it, you do that. I don't get it. Like, I'm trying to talk in codes because, you know, I don't want to spoil anything for people, but they literally went through all of this trouble to get this information. And then once they got the information, she does that. Why would you do that? That was like the dumbest ending ever. Stupid. It was dumb. Like, that was dumb as shit. So here on the Cinema Chop Shop, if you haven't heard, we grade movies in two ways. Either you be spared or either you get bodied. I am going to spare this movie.
He ain't earned the death. He ain't earned the death at my hands. God's only man, spared by the butcher.
Martyrs gets spared solely on the idea that it is better than Antichrist. And also because the first half of the movie is really fucking good, but that second half of the movie is really fucking dumb. So I don't understand how this movie had so much momentum going into it, and it just slowed it down and pulled it back. I don't know what they needed to do, but honestly, you could have ended it after the half of the movie, and I would have been good. Like, I would have been gravy, right? But for them to like end it the way that they ended it, and then ended the new protagonist that we end up following, have it with her. Come on, bro. Come on. So that's my review of my disturbing double feature. And this is David from the 80s, and you are now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and adios.